Okay, so after we get our light fixture down and we're ready to put the new fixture up, we unpackaged the new fixture. We have it laying here on the floor. This bracket that came with the old fixture that was up here, we're going to take this bracket off and we're going to get rid of it, and we're going to use the new bracket that came supplied with the fixture. And what I did, just so you know, is I screwed this piece in the height that I need it to be, so that way it'll accommodate the new fixture. And I'll show you what I mean in just a minute. But let me bring you in. I'm going to show you what kind of tools you're going to need, and then we're going to get this job done and finish it off. Here's an example of what kind of tools you're going to need. We may need a pair of needle nose pliers like this. We may need a pair of wire cutters to strip the wires to whatever gauge the wire is, either 12 or 14 gauge, which will be one of these right in here. We have another pair of pliers like this. We may need to cut the wires, but we'll see how it goes. Meet my dog. Wants to see what I'm doing over here. All right, this is a non-contact tester to check to see if there's voltage present. We may need a utility knife and a Phillips head screwdriver or a flathead screwdriver, depending on the fixture itself. And of course, we're going to need some wire nuts to put it back up in there, and we're going to put it all back together. So let's get up there and let's wrap it up. Okay, so now we know there is no power here because we did check it to make sure, but if you're not sure, you get your non-contact tester such as this, and you'll find it in my Amazon store down below the video. I do have these there. I think they're like probably less than 15 bucks. I do make a small commission off of it, just so you know. If you had voltage present and it's normally in the black wire, you would bring the tester up here, put it against the wire, and if there was voltage present, this would start to beep. But we know there is no voltage here, so we're in good shape. This is what would happen if there was voltage present. Okay? Let's turn it off. So now we have it turned off. We have no voltage, so we're ready to get started. Okay, so let's take this down and let's take it away, and we'll put our new one up there. In this particular case, it's just a Phillips head screw. You know, let me bring you in a little closer so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. All right, so this is the bracket that we took off. Remember, they had the wire wrapped around here. They didn't have it grounded properly to the grounding screw, so that's why this is no good. We're going to use the correct one. We're going to take our new bracket that came with it. We're going to lift it up in here. Remember what I told you about that grounding screw? That green screw right there. Hope you can see that. That green screw right there is the grounding screw where we're going to ground our fixture to. All right? So let's put this up here. We're going to catch these screws in here. We're going to catch them by hand. Okay, then once you have both screws caught, then we can screw these screws up until they're almost tight. Not quite tight, but close. Okay, so now we're going to center this bracket in the opening right here. Hold it in place, and then we'll tighten up these screws. Okay, that's nice and tight. We're going to unscrew this piece right here for now. And like I said, I preset this before to the height that I needed it. So we're just going to take these two off here so we can continue working. All right, so we'll come back to these in just a minute. Okay, I forgot to point out to you that this is the fixture here itself. This is our ground wire that we are going to connect up underneath there to a good ground. And these are our wires to connect up to the positive, or the two wires up top, the white and the black. The L is the load wire, so we know that that connects to the black, and this one connects to the white. And this is a great idea what they have here. I'll show you what I mean. This is our fixture. We're going to hang it back up. Now, if you had to try to hold this up here and connect your wires, it would be a pain. What they had a good idea here is they put this little piece on here like this, and you take this and you slide it up into that little slot right there, and then it's supported while we work on it. So that's what we're going to do. Okay? So now it just hangs like this. So we have two hands in order to connect these wires up. So we'll do that right now. We'll connect it up. We're going to take our wire, or ground wire, put it around. I'll show you what I'm going to do in a second here. Let me bring in, I'm going to show you what I mean. See what I did? Wrap the wire around that green screw like that. And now you want to have that wire so that when you tighten this screw, it actually pulls the wire tighter. See? I'm going to need two hands because I'm going to have to pull these two wires together a little tighter, like that. And then we're going to tighten that screw down. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll tighten this down and then we'll connect these two wires up here as well. Okay, so that's nice and tight. Next we're going to take our two wires. Remember the one that was marked L right here? That's the load side. That connects to the black wire. So we take our black wire. Let me bring you in so you can see a little better. So we're going to take our wire, that's the L, which is the load. We're going to take it and put it around this wire right here. We're going to grab with our two fingers, we're going to pinch it, and then we're going to rotate it. Just like that. Okay? Take our wire cap, put it on here, and screw it in the clockwise position to tighten it down. Once you have it tight, pull the wires, make sure they're tight, which they are. Next thing we're going to do is going to take our white wire, like this, put it on here, rotate it around, like that. Take our wire nut and screw it on here. Screw it down till it's nice and tight. Okay, and then we're going to pull the wires to make sure that they're not loose, which they are nice and tight. We have that connected. We're going to take our wiring and we're going to put it back up into the box right here, just like this. We're just going to push this up and out of the way, just like that. Same thing on this one here. We're going to push it up in the box and out of the way. And then we'll lift our light up. And we'll push it up here to cover over the top of that stud that's sticking down, just like this. We're going to take that little metal ring and we're going to screw it on here. And we're just going to screw it up snug, not tight. And then we're going to go around and we're going to make sure the wire is up and out of sight. And then we'll screw this down the rest of the way, like this. Making sure our wires are not pinched. We're going to push it up. Okay, and last, we're going to take our decorative cap and we're going to put it up on here and screw it on, just like that. Okay. Okay, and before we do anything, we want to make sure that all of the wiring is not sticking out from the side. If it is, then you just loosen up that nut right there, take it down, and you would stick the wires back in if they were sticking out. And that's what the decorative cap looks like when it's all finished. All right, next thing we're going to do now is let's put the bulbs in, let's hang the crystals, and we'll make sure this job works. Okay, so as you can see, we're going to put the light bulbs in there, but we wanted to make sure that everything worked before we finished it up and hang all the crystals back on. But the light works. We're going to now hang the crystals, put the correct light bulbs in, and then this job is done, and we're on to the next. All right, as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.